This video was sponsored by Raycon.
Where am I? Oh no, the multiverse truly has broken apart. All that's left is this infinite void. Well, this infinite void and my Raycon everyday earbuds, thank goodness. I sure am glad they're so sleek and low profile. Thanks to the assortment of gel tips they come with, they're just the perfect fit. It's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Gosh, is there an end to this void? Will I float here forever? Well, it's a good thing my Raycons last up to... Wait, what's this? It seems a burst of cosmic energy has dimension shifted them. They now last up to 8 hours on a charge and up to 32 hours using the charging case, just like all new units. And now they've got this neat rubber oil texture, which looks super slick and feels nice on the fingers. Boy, I gotta say, Raycons already sound great and pack a surprising amount of bass, but in the dead silent vacuum of nothingness, they're gonna sound even better. Gosh, if only there were any people left anywhere, I could use the built-in mic to take calls at the press of a button. And to think, if my universe still existed, these everyday earbuds would cost less than half the price of other premium wireless earbuds, and anyone could get 15% off by heading to buyraycon.com/Arlo. Raycons would come with a 45-day happiness guarantee, too. Yep, this void may be infinite, but for the next 32 hours plus charging time, it's just me and my Raycons. Me and my Raycons. I'll break it. There's a new Metroid game, and I have played it. There is a brand new mainline 2D Metroid game. I have played it. I had the controller in my hands. It was on the Switch, and I went to it, and it went bing, and I selected my profile, and I just I went into it. There was a start screen and everything. And I moved the controller, and it made Samus move around. And I am flipper-jambled positively. Obviously, the full review is coming sometime. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know how long it's gonna be, how in-depth I want to go. I really don't know. So that's why, at the very least, I gotta come at you right now with just like my first early impressions of the game. I did the same thing for Samus Returns. And just because, like, especially for a game like this, where just the raw in the hands experience is already so striking that even though I've barely gotten anywhere in the game, I've played it for maybe a total of 2 hours last night, and I was very tired, and that included me being really, really slow, sometimes just wandering around, just marveling at it. You know what I mean? So I'm barely anywhere. I haven't even reached a boss or anything. And yet even just that, I already have an intense need to talk about it to someone. And that's what's so great about having this channel, is whenever that's the whole point. Whenever I feel really strongly about a thing, and normally you're like, oh, I gotta talk to someone. Who do I talk to? I'll just talk to all of you. It's perfect. So, and no spoilers, the footage is just gonna be, really basic early area stuff. I don't even know if we'll show a boss, maybe. We will. We'll probably go up to the first boss or something, but just don't look, just listen. It's as simple as I'm not gonna talk about specifics. Just my impressions of the first part of the game. Metroid games aren't story heavy, there is a story, but it's, in the way of cinematics or whatever. There's not a ton. And yet just the beginning story, the opening cinematic that leads you into the game, already really intensely impressed with how cool it was, how cool it is, and how much it introduces, how much it's just a thing. I don't know what else to say. There's just some incredible stuff that happens. The style. Oh my gosh. I've seen little bits and pieces in the trailer, but seeing an unbroken cinematic, wow. Just wow. They look incredible. They're just amazingly, choreographed, and everything about it. Cinematography, it's just It looks incredibly, incredibly good, incredibly cool. The action is incredible. Even if there aren't that many other cinematics going forward in the game, you know, maybe your biggest stuff is at the beginning and the end or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't even matter because it set the bar so high right off the bat. It's like, it truly is a modern Metroid. It's everything you would just, I'm still just talking about the cinematics here. It's everything you'd want from a modern Metroid. Like just seeing Samus doing cool stuff in a cutscene. It's everything you could possibly ever want. And that's I guess that's all I can say about that. Playing the game itself. Like, where do I even start? Where do I start? The graphics. They're so good. They're so good. There are elements where it's like a thing that maybe should have a texturing, just kind of look shiny. You know, like it's not absolutely perfect. You know, certain elements that kind of just, it makes it, it's that thing that we're seeing in a lot of Nintendo games. It's not actually a toy style, but because of the nature of it and Samus so small on the screen and the shiny stuff, it kind of looks like a toy, kind of looks like miniature, only sometimes. For the most part though, just in terms of like art style and just like polish, it looks incredible. The lighting is unreal. Absolutely unreal. The lighting, the use of color, just how it's just designed. Every room, every place, it's so striking. It's like every little bit is just like a little work of art. It's incredible. And yeah, like the color and the lighting and everything, that's the main thing. You know, and I haven't played it on my new Switch OLED, but I am playing it on my OLED TV, and so the darks are just so dark and rich, and it's so moody. I mean, like that, everything you'd want of like Metroid atmosphere, like is absolutely there. And it's another one of those moments where you're looking at it, and this is, like I said, how I was just like screwing around, just like messing around, because I'm so taken aback by just the simple visual of just like, I'm in a room, I'm just like in a save room, and I'm Samus, and I'm just running around, and I'm just aiming my gun and just shooting or just moving. I'm not even, literally not doing anything except looking at it and being struck with how unreal it is that I'm looking at something that is so modern, so sleek, so beautiful, and yet it's Metroid. I'm looking, it's Samus. Like, we just played the old games for so long. It's Samus, but it looks like this. It's so good. I could go on. The gameplay, the very first thing, I mean, like, you could tell this just from, like, you know, largely by watching the trailers, and even by, like, playing Samus Returns. Well, one of the best things I went on and on about was just how good it feels, how good those controls feel. She's just so smooth and slick, and it's just so zippy to move around, literally just moving and jumping and stuff. And I did not know, like, I knew it would be good. I knew it would be even better, but I did not know how much further they could take it. They have refined it so incredibly well. The simple act of just walking, running, jumping up platforms, it's so slick. There are so many teeny tiny little things that they did to make it not only feel good to control, where, you know, you're not getting hung up on stuff, but also just look good to watch. You know, it's not like watching a little video game character who's like jerking into all these different poses or whatever. It's all super slick. You know, you can do a little slide, and then as you keep running, she kind of like comes back up again, and it's just, you go over a little lip, and she just walks up the lip. You don't have, you know, you don't get your ankles stuck on it and have to jump over it or whatever. It's slick. It's fluid. She's like water. She's like a person would be, an actual person who's like this, you know, super acrobatic and running and jumping all over the place. It's a flow. It's fluid. It's like the parkour thing, you know? You don't get hung up. And it cannot be overstated how much that just improves just the core experience and makes even just the most basic of encounters of just like, oh, I'm Samus, I'm jumping on platforms and I'm using my gun to shoot little aliens. Even just that is so much fun because it's so polished, and it's a thing that I'm happy about, because it's like there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of Metroidvanias out there, and a lot of them are a lot cheaper, and you know, it's like, okay, it's really going up against a very established genre, and this is $60, but this is the kind of like AAA polish that really takes it a long way. That you look at this and you look at that presentation and you look at just how fluid everything is, how just the polish. It's the Nintendo polish. That's what they do with their games. They polish the heck out of them, and this is no exception. And I think that makes a massive difference to just the, I don't know, the value proposition of this game. The rest of the controls, I've barely even like dug into. You know, you got the new, you can kind of slide, and that's a really just slick, awesome thing. You got your melee. I haven't even really dug into like the melee and all that stuff, and it's a good amount of controls to get used to. In my short time, I definitely, I didn't quite get the grips with all of it. Just remembering all the different buttons, like it'll come in time, and like I said, I mostly just screwed around. I didn't put myself into a lot of like really intense, you know, combat situations or anything, but it all just, you know, the additions made by Samus Returns, and then the additions, you know, from there, here, it all feeds in so well. It's all so natural. It feels like, how have we not always had a cool slide move in Metroid? You know, that kind of thing. A little surprised and slightly disappointed that I haven't looked in the options or anything. I don't think so, though. I haven't seen any option to use the right stick for aiming. I kind of thought there'd be like, you know, aim with the right stick, and I don't know, maybe it's in the options. I don't know, like I said, I haven't looked, but it's not built into the default settings. You hold, what is it, the left bumper or the right bumper or something to aim, to do free aim, and use the left stick to do it, which means that you can't move while moving. You can't aim while moving. I can't move while moving. That's funny. And it could be that that was just a design choice on their part. They wanted to be like, if you are doing precise aiming, you gotta stop. I mean, it's kind of how it would be in real life. You know, you can do rough shots, you know, while you're on the move, but you can't like stop and aim in a really exact place when you're like just sprinting. So maybe that's a choice on their part or something. But yeah, the free aim, just like with Samus Returns, feels really good. All of the moves feel really good. It's just going to take me a little bit of practice. Mechanically, I actually haven't dug into a lot yet. Like, it really hasn't. It's been very basic. It's been introducing the Emmys and stuff, and so I haven't really like upgraded a whole bunch. I've gotten a couple like missile expansions or something, but like that's just about it. And so I don't even know like mechanically what other, you know, I don't even know I haven't watched the trailers. I don't know all the different power-ups we're gonna get or whatever. I don't even know what the world is gonna be like, what kind of stuff I'm gonna be doing. But what I've seen so far, the world is already so intriguing. It's so beautiful and mysterious, and I just can't wait to just delve into other areas of it. And like it's such a good place to be with a game where I've only gotten a taste, just a little teeny tiny taste. I've just felt out the controls, seen what they're like, gotten an idea of how it looks, seen the opening cutscenes, just like, this is what's happening in the story. And based on those, just those, it's like the game already has me. You know, it's like I said, the opening cutscene was so good, there might not even be that many other cutscenes in the game, and it would still be like, I'm still pretty satisfied because that was just so good. And like, I don't even know what kind of levels or enemies there are going to be, but the core gameplay is so good, it almost doesn't even matter. Obviously, in the end, it all matters. All the level design and all that stuff. It all matters a lot. But it's just so good to be here at the beginning and be so enamored with the very basics that it is just introduced, that like, there's only up to go from here. There's only more to see. There's only more to discover. I'm already so, just so madly in love with the tiny little taste that I have already gotten. And it's just a heck of a place to be. You know what I mean? Hey, before I go, I should talk about the Emmys, you know, the stealth sequences. Again, I'm not going to go into it too mechanically or whatever, just kind of like vaguely what it's like. It's great. It's really scary. The game does not waste time in laying that dread on you, you know. These things are a lot more aggressive and good at finding you than I anticipated. I mean, I think there might be some kind of tool I get later that makes it a little easier, but right now it's like, holy cow, they find you. They find you, and it's great. It's harder than I expected. Like, it's tough. I've died a bunch of times. I really have. But the game is really good at, it does all the right things that I love in games that are hard, that, you know, it makes it not so bad that I'm dying a lot. Checkpoints are really generous. You can jump back in really quickly after you die. And also just the fact that you're so fluid in your movement, you know, like you can get around the map really quickly when you know where you're going. So it's just like, it never feels like you lose too much progress. And it's just, it's like tough but fair. It's hard, but it's still fun, and that's making me even more excited about the game because I've heard that some of the bosses are pretty hard too, but I don't know. I'm just, what can I say? What can I say? It's so good. I guess I gotta stop somewhere. It's so good. I've only played for such a short amount of time, and I'm already in love. I love it. Everything about it's so good. Every little thing, every tiny little thing that could be good about it, it is. And I guess I just gotta end it there. Again, I don't know when the full review will be, or what it'll even look like, or how big it'll be, or whatever. Maybe I'll do it in a week. Maybe it'll take me a year. Who knows? Let me know what you think down in the comments. No spoilies for anyone, but what do you think? Are you enjoying Metroid Dread? Is this your first Metroid game? Is this not your first Metroid game? Let us all know. See you later. I am gonna go not play Metroid Dread because it's the middle of the day and the house is full of people, and it's like, how do you play a game like Metroid Dread? I gotta go rent a motel or something. I need like a nice alone, like dark, quiet place to play. I don't have that. I'll figure it out. See you later. Playing Metroid Dread. Playing Metroid Dread. I just did a first impressions video for Metroid Dread. That's real. It's real!